Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading Srimad Bhagavatam 10, Cantor, chapter 20, text 36. Girayaha Mumuchuhu Toyam Kvachit Namumuchuhu Shivam Yadha Jnana Amritam Kale Jnaninaha Dadate Nava Girayo Mumuchustoyam Kvachinnamuchuh Shivam Yadha Jnanamritam Kale Jnanino Dadate Nava Girayo Mumuchustoyam Kvachinnamuchuh Shivam Yadha Jnanamritam Kale Jnanino Dadate Nava Girayo Mumuchustoyam Kvachinnamuchuh Shivam Yadha Jnanamritam Kale Jnanino Dadate Nava Girayo Mumuchustoyam Girayo Mumuchustoyam Kvachinnamuchuh Shivam Yadha Jnanamritam Kale Jnanino Dadate Nava Girayo Mumuchustoyam Kvachinnamuchuh Shivam Yadha Jnanamritam Kale Jnanino Dadate Nava. Mataji's Girayo Mumuchustoyam Giraya, the mountains. Mumuchuhu, released. Toyam, their water. Kvachit, sometimes. Na Mumuchuhu, they didn't release. Shivam, pure. Yadha, just as. Jnana, of transcendental knowledge. Amritam, the nectar. Kale, at the appropriate time. Jnaninaha, experts in spiritual knowledge. Dadate, bestow. Nava, or not. Translation. During this season, the mountains sometimes released their pure water and sometimes didn't. Just as experts in transcendental science sometimes give the nectar of transcendental knowledge and sometimes do not. Purport. The first part of this chapter described the rainy season, and the second part has been dealing with the autumn season, which begins when the rain stops. During the rainy season, water always flows from the mountains, but during the autumn the water sometimes flows and sometimes does not. Similarly, great saintly teachers sometimes speak extensively on spiritual knowledge and sometimes they are silent. The self-realized soul is closely in touch with the Supreme Soul, and according to his desires, a competent spiritual scientist may or may not describe the absolute truth, depending on the specific circumstances. Should we read Light of Bhagavatam also? Yeah. But it's not compulsory. Yeah, but in this case it's a little bit different. Okay, so Light of Bhagavatam, it's 33rd verse. There are waterfalls flowing from the hills of the forest, but sometimes water does not flow from them. So the waterfalls are not like ordinary rainfall. They are compared to great reformers who speak or do not speak, as the time requires. So here he adds rainfall, whereas in Srimad Bhagavatam it only speaks of mountain who released water. But yeah, so Srila Prabhupada writes, there are two different kinds of religious preachers. One of them is called the professional preacher and the other is called the acharya. The professional preachers are like the rainfall from the sky, but the acharyas are like waterfalls. The professional traders in Bhagavatam and Ramayana will speak from the portion of the scripture that will appeal to the mundane senses of the audience. For example, the professional Bhagavatam reciter will generally speak on the subject of Rasa Lila, which appears to the layman to be something like the dealings of ordinary men and women. Thus, the professional reciters earn money from their so-called admirers. But an acharya will never speak on Rasa Lila to the general mass of people. The Rasa Lila chapters of the Bhagavatam are the most confidential part of the scripture, and they are meant for advanced students of spiritual realization. In the Bhagavatam there are 12 cantos, and the Rasa Lila is in the 10th. So before one comes to the 10th canto, the Bhagavatam tries to convince him of the transcendental nature of the Absolute Truth. Unless one has grasped the spiritual status of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one is sure to accept him as an ordinary man, and thereby commit offenses at his lotus feet by so many unwanted activities. The acharya is he who knows the scriptures well and teaches his disciples in terms of the disciples' capacity to understand and advance in spiritual realization. Therefore, he sometimes speaks and sometimes does not speak. The holy message of Godhead have to be received from the realized soul and not from the professional man. Although rainwater and the waterfalls are the same, the water from the waterfalls has a different effect than ordinary rainwater. One should not accept messages from the professional man, as one should not accept milk touched by the tongue of a serpent. Milk is good, but as soon as it is touched by the snake, it becomes poisonous. The acharya, therefore, is not a mercenary order supplier like the professional reciter of scriptures. Jnanatimirandhasya jnananjanashalakaya chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamini Chinmane. Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vancha Kalpadarubhyascha Kripa Sindhupyaeva Chapatitanam Pavanibhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Girayo mamuchusto yam, kvachinna mamuchuh shivam, yadha jnanamritam kale, jnanino dadate nava. During the season, the mountains sometimes released their pure water and sometimes didn't. Just as experts in transcendental science sometimes give the nectar of transcendental knowledge and sometimes do not. So season has changed during the pastimes of Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna, and now autumn begins. So during previous season there was a lot of rain and there was no scarcity of water, and during that time mountains always would pushed to give a lot of water. There was no question of whether they will give or not. But now sometimes they give, sometimes they didn't. So it's compared to the Gyanis, to those persons who knows transcendental knowledge. Sometimes they give something and sometimes they give. And why they do so? Well, there are different reasons for that. It depends on the area of Vedic knowledge with which we are dealing, like for example traditional Vedas, it will not be possible for ordinary men to receive. That's why it was very strict, like if Shudra will try to study the Vedas, then he will be killed. So mainly this portion of Vedas which deals with Karma Kanda, with Vedic sacrifices, it's only for a few persons. Recently in Russia there was one, and still it is, how to say, movement of devotees who wants to do rituals from Atharva Veda. It's like some kind of mundane, you can say, rituals which deals with agriculture, with family, how to heal this disease, that disease, and they found a lot of rituals from Atharva Veda. And they found some person even in Udupi area who gave them initiation into that and taught them mantras from this Atharva Veda, and now they getting a lot of, not a lot of, but getting some money in Russia by doing these rituals. But it's not bona fide because they not allowed to join this parampara, to receive this knowledge. Madhava Sampradaya is very strict. They cannot give any knowledge and any initiation outside of their community. So basically, these people who are doing this, they cheaters, basically. Yeah, they getting sinful reactions for doing this because they using Vedic knowledge without authorization. And those are those who are receiving their so-called service, they also get in sinful reactions. They want to be relieved from some troubles, yeah, but they get the opposite result because it's not done in the proper line. So for most of the knowledge, it's like that. It should be received through parampara, to qualified person, not to everyone. And there are different kind of adhikaris for that. But when we speak about bhakti, there is no question of adhikar, because Rupa Goswami, he cited this verse in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu that Sarvadhikarita magha snanasya bhruvanam yadaha. He told that everyone is qualified for Hari Bhakti, just as everyone is qualified to take snana or bath during the season of Magha. So it's not that someone is allowed to take bath, someone is not. Everyone is welcome, even if it's cold season. So in the same way, everyone is qualified for Hari Bhakti. Why? Because Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhya Kabunai, it's eternal. It's eternal. How to say? Item which always with the living being. We are not separable. It's like Jiva always has this capacity to love Krishna. It's our eternal position. So that's why everyone is qualified to do so. But why sometimes, as we hear from this verse, devotees, gyanis, they give this knowledge, sometimes not. Because if everyone is qualified, then devotee should spread this knowledge to everyone. Well, because right now in material world, living entity, because of association with the material nature, with gunas, have acquired different levels of consciousness, and that's why this verse actually in this connection he cited in the commentary of Shiva Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakur to the verse Ishvareta Tadhinishu, qualification of Madhya Madhikari, in relation with the how devotee deals with innocent persons, because that's the point. We have different stages of material contamination, and if living entity is too much contaminated, then he will not be able to get this knowledge, and in fact actually he will be envious of the preacher. So he will be fighting, at least verbally. He will increase hatred towards those who tries to give him good advice in bhakti. That's why I said Ishvareta Tadhinishu Balisheshu Dvishatsucha Prema Maitri Kripopekshayah Karoti Samadhyamaha. Advice is given, not advice, but it's a description of second-class devotee, Madhya Madhikari, who preach that there are 4 categories which he should distinguish among all the living entities which he sees. First is Ishvara, it's personality of Godhead. Second is Adhineshu, it's devotees, those who on the same level as he, so devotees. Third is Balisheshu, means ignorant, innocent, person like a child. And Dvishatsu, those who envious. So with each of these categories, it's prescribed that we need to act in a different way. Not that we will serve everyone without discrimination. It will lead to chaos. So to the Ishvara, it's obvious we need. It's prescribed prema, and also it's in commentaries explained that prema doesn't mean literally prema, but it's on the level of Madhyama. It's just some attachment, because prema is not developed yet. Prema means it's Uttamadhikari. So attachment and service to the Lord. Then to the innocent, it's kripa, means devotee should preach. So that's the point. To those who are ignorant but innocent, means that he will not express dvesha when you will speak to him about the Lord. To him, devotees will give their mercy, not to the dvishatsu, because dvishatsu, if it's like a snake, if you will feed with the milk snake, then it will become more and more poisonous. So you can feed snake and wait that she will be kind to you, but no. The same way, dvishatsu persons, they after receiving, after approaching them, devotee will see that they will become only more envious, and that will ruin their life. And that's why devotees on Madhyama platform, they stay aloof from such kind of people. But they still want to benefit them, and still they should develop compassion towards such persons. Even it's the mood of Prahlada Maharaj, that he's saying Naibodvijay, this verse, that he tells that I'm not in any scarcity, how to say, of I'm happy. I'm okay, I don't have any problem, but my only concern is about those fools and rascals who do not surrender to you. So that means that he cares for these offenders, for everyone, not that he discriminates, oh, this is offender, no, I will not deal with him. That's a unique, you can say, quality of devotees of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that they usually do not consider patra patra vichara nahi nahi sthana sthan. They do not think about who is fit to receive this knowledge, who do not fit in the first place, of course. Of course, when devotee will see that this is a envious person, he will stay aloof from him. But in the first place, there is no consideration. Like, we are going for book distribution and we do not think, okay, this person looks nice, I will present this book to him. This person looks like a poor fellow, so I will not bother him. Or he doesn't look very smart. No consideration, patra patra. Whether he looks receptive or not receptive, we should present this knowledge to everyone, and then miracle usually happens, especially in Western world. It's more obvious because like here everyone is very noble persons, more or less. I mean, in India, especially in South India, they're very polite, they're very friendly, they're very respectful. At least my experience is such that they are overall quite good people and they have some idea of religion. But on the West, it's it's very opposite. People always, not always, but often they will be aggressive when you try to present something to them. Sorry, what was the line? Yeah, patra patra. Yeah, so it's more obvious in the Western world because a lot of stories when devotees, they give book to very, on the first look, very low person, without home, without proper clothes, lying on the street with some bottle of wine in his hand, literally. And then after some time, he becomes a very good devotee. Like, it's what Srila Prabhupada basically did. Yeah, like when he came to USA, his preaching field was hippie. So they was like that. They was lying on the streets. They literally, they was sleeping with everyone, mixing together like anything, drinking, taking drugs, and Srila Prabhupada didn't do any discrimination. Also, sthana. Traditionally, it was not even thinkable before to preach on the West. It was by custom that if we would preach, then we would preach inside the India. No one could even think about preaching outside of India. Like for Madhava sannyasis, it's forbidden to even go by the ship or whatever to the other countries. So Srila Prabhupada actually, he practically showed what is this sthana, because he goes to the West and he preached and he was succeeded in this. Yeah, so little regarding commentaries of acharyas, I will add also. About qualification for getting this knowledge, we already told that there is no qualification for practicing bhakti, but there are qualification for receiving knowledge. And acharyas point out that word kvachit in this verse, it points to this principle. Like mountains, they usually give water to big receptacles like Ganga or Yamuna. They will not give water to some, small rivers, because usually from mountains comes, Ganga or Yamuna. So in the same way, devotees will give knowledge only to those who have good qualities, who have bhakti sukriti, in other words. Svalpa pirucha revas yat bhakti tattva vabodhika. That's the qualification for starting bhakti. Yeah, when we preach, we can see if some person have interest to the bhakti, if have some ruchi, svalpa ruchi, small taste, then he is qualified. We can ignite this bhakti. We can see that this person is qualified. Like Tamau Krishna Maharaj, when he was preaching in the universities, he told to the devotees that first they was distributing prasadam. So he told that first you see who eating more and who accept prasadam. Then you preach to them only. Others who eat less or doesn't eat at all, just don't deal with them. Don't spend time on them, because Mahaprasade Govinde Nama Brahmani Vaishnave Svalpa Punyavatam. That's the point. If somebody have some attachment to prasadam, to devotees, to Srimad Bhagavatam, he's a good recipient. He has this faith which we can and should develop. Otherwise, it's like sometimes it happens that devotee on Book Sankirtan distribution, they found some person and he is very interested into knowledge, and you speak with him, it's 10 minutes, 20 minutes, devotees can speak 30 minutes, but it's like just a mundane interest, because he don't want to take the books, he just want to he have some arguments, or he just want to speak, just want to spend his time. He don't have any real faith in that. So usually, especially on Sankirtan, it should be done quick. If we see that person is not interested, we just go to another person. That's the advice from those who experience in book distribution. If you see that person is not interested, you just go to another person. Don't waste time on him, because you can spend all your time for Sankirtan for this particular person and he will not take the book, and what's the point? And a story came to my mind regarding mercy of Srila Prabhupada and his disciples in the cases when even persons doesn't want to receive this knowledge. There was one devotee, and it was in 90s, I believe. There was a war in one country, like similar to what's going on nowadays. People still living, but they've been bombarded almost daily. So they continue their life, but still it's here and there bombs are falling down and people dying. So there was one devotee, and he was distributing books in these circumstances. And it's itself already a sign of big compassion and surrender. So he was going daily on Sankirtan, and there was one person who was a shopkeeper in this area where this devotee was distributing books. And this shopkeeper, he always was refusing. No, I didn't want to hear you. No, go away. And this devotee still, he was always trying to push him, but no. And then at one point, there was an airstrike in this area. So this devotee went there after this airstrike, and he found out that it strikes into the shop of this person. And this person, he is lying down on the street without lower part of his body. So he's still alive, but soon, obviously, he will leave the body. It's, no options. So, and this devotee, he became very happy. He said, aha, now I catch you. So he come to this person. He have Shalagram Shiva always with him. He was going here and there. So he put Shalagram on, chest or on the body of this person. And he started to preach to him. This person, no way to escape. He will die soon. So this devotee, he gave him Charnamrita, he started to preach to him, showed him Bhagavad Gita, and there was no way to escape this preaching for this person. So that was the last thing which he saw before he left his body. So that's the mood of Srila Prabhupada, which he expressed and which he gave to us, that we should try to approach every and any person, not, without discrimination. Even in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna told that those who attach to karmic activities, you don't bother them. But then Srila Prabhupada, what he writes in the purport, that okay, Krishna thinks like that, but devotees, they will approach, they will not, follow this instruction. So that's the mood. We should approach everyone. We should disturb people, because soon they will die, and at least if we will try, then they will get some hope. There is no loss on this path. Like this verse, Turnam yatetan napadhetan umritya yavat. It should be done immediately, Turnam, because Tyakva sadurlabhamidam manusam bhavantam manushyam arthadam anityam apihadhiraha. This body, Manusya Deha, which we received, is very soon will die. We will not have the opportunity to use it anymore, and it's very rare. And by this body we can serve the Lord, we can return to the spiritual world. So Turnam, immediately we should do everything which is required to do so. So that was the mood of Srila Prabhupada. That was, he always was thinking how to uplift others. We can see a lot of stories. He was interacting with everyone. He always was thinking about how to uplift others, how to uplift others, how to raise them to the Krishna consciousness. Like in this purport, it's mentioned that the self-realized soul is closely in touch with the Supreme Soul, and according to his desires, a competent spiritual scientist may or may. So the point is that not that may or may not he described, but Srila Prabhupada, inspired by Krishna, always knew what to speak to any particular person. There's a lot of stories when devotees, they had some questions in their minds, and they came to the lectures of Srila Prabhupada first time, and suddenly Srila Prabhupada was answering exactly these questions. So that was just inspiration from the Lord. So we can keep this example of Srila Prabhupada in our hearts and continue our preaching work, continue our duties with this understanding that this life is very short, it's temporary, illusory also in one sense, and we need to hurry. We need to do more to please Guru, to please Srila Prabhupada, and finally to get our eternal position of servitors, of servitors. Maybe some questions or additions can be made.
Speaking about Patra, but like some places we can see people are very receptive. Like people are more receptive. For example, distributing books. Some places books goes nicely. Like they'll take it, and some places it's not so. Then like we have to is it okay? Like rationally speaking, we have to go to the place where people are receptive. But according to this, like how Patra, we shouldn't see that.
So the question is, if we see that some places is more receptive, should we go there or not? And how it corresponds with this principle of patra patra? But still in these places, we can see that someone is more receptive and someone is not. Someone is conditioned in one way and another in another. So the point is patra patra, that we should approach everyone Of course, intelligence also should be used, because if you see a person who running on you with the gun or with knife with the intention of doing something harmful to you, there's no point of, patra patra, okay, I should offer to him also. You should run. So on the same point, book distribution means we need to use our intelligence, and it's always like that, we should go to uh, these places where it's more people are more receptive, you can say. So that means that they are less envious. That's the point which we discussed. They more innocent kind of persons. So that's the point. Uh, Sometimes devotees also do such things that they, on book distribution, that they go intentionally to these places where no one have been before and which is dangerous, with this consideration that patra patra, like Indradyumna Maharaj, he did this uh, book distribution in the jungles. So nobody went there before, and it's a dangerous place. But with the idea that, okay, there are also conditioned souls, we also need to bring knowledge to them. So he went there, and it was quite successful. Or Tribhuvannath, Prabhu, disciple of Shiva Prabhupada, he also was doing preaching in Africa, I believe. So it's also, he always was trying to get most difficult parts. Means nobody was there before. It's unknown. You can be killed. It's, these black people. They kind of not civilized, you can say, and they unpredicted. So maybe they will, offer to their gods your body, or anything can happen. Yeah? Like Narjun Maharaj, he was preaching even to the cannibals, I believe that was story. Um, so yeah, we should see realistically what is our level, uh, because some devotees, they empowered to preach, for example, to high class of people. Um, some devotees, they not. So we should use our intelligence, but the main principle is that everyone should get this opportunity to be in touch, to what is the word, to connect with the Krishna consciousness. We should give opportunity to everyone. That's the point of patra patra, not that we should discriminate. Maybe Kuku Chandra Prabhu, Chitahari Prabhu will add something.
Speaking about devotees are very perceptive and then giving out books and knowledge to common people. Then the conditions. So just remember one section in Mohan Mission of Prabhupada books. There's a section called Taking Risk for Krishna. There is one chapter that is explain the whole thing about how the movement revived, how the movement expanded, how Srila Prabhupada himself has great quality to take risks for Krishna, giving out person, how he inspired all the devotees also to take the risk, and then how so many miracles and so many amazing things happened. That whole spirit of selfless service and other things Prabhupada is like, so that's the mood of the devotees, and then, as you said, sometimes they don't see even some not qualified or not qualified. They go out and then someone trying to save the country. So, of course, caution should be taken. Not to give the knowledge, not to give the knowledge. But the whole spirit of this, how this preaching movement is amazing. How it is even find this act one and one more point. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, Srila Prabhupada is speaking about be careful speaking about Radha Krishna and then the Rasa Leela. One incident comes to mind. When Srila Prabhupada was in Chennai, he went to meet a judge. I mean, there was a preaching program, I think, and the whole family
Yeah. Yes, there's one more story similar to this that Shiva Prabhupada was asked in private conversation in the room by some Bengali person something about Radha Krishna and this and that. That Shiva Prabhupada became furious in him. He thought that who are you to to speak about this? It's not for you. So it's also art of preaching, like to know when to say what to him, how to react to with different persons. Yeah, it's a whole art. ग्रंथ राजा श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, शिव प्रभुपाद की जय.